Good evening, and welcome to this meeting of the Old Kings Highway Committee of the Town of Yarmouth, which is being held in accordance with Chapter 470 of the Acts of 1973 as amended at 7:15 p.m. on Monday, July 22nd, 2024, at the Yarmouth Town Hall Hearing Room located at 1146 Route 28, South Yarmouth. Moreover, pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, considering certain COVID-19 measures, this meeting is being run in hybrid mode, by which I mean there will be live participation, there will be some Zoom participation. I am quite confident. I always say there may be some telephone participation as well, but I always add that I've not yet seen that. 5 new applications for certificates of appropriateness and 1 new certificate of demolition will be heard this evening in the order listed on the agenda. There's also a tabled item that will be heard this evening. Please be reminded that our committee's main purpose is to review items for appropriateness and setting, and it is the responsibility of the applicant to comply with the regulations of other town boards and departments, including building, conservation, engineering, health, zoning, and the sign inspector. You should know that there is a 10 calendar day appeal period starting once a decision is filed with the town clerk. Any person aggrieved by our decision tonight can appeal to the Regional Commission of the Old Kings Highway Historic District. Our office administrator, Lisa Sherman, will be happy to answer any questions you may have regarding this process. And our process here is I will call the applications in order as listed on the agenda. The applicant and/or the applicant's representatives will come before us, sit at this table, speak into the microphone, identify yourselves, present your application without interruption by the committee or by members of the public, after which I will ask the committee to make comments and or ask questions. Following that, I will ask the public, and in particular abutters, if they have any comments or questions to ask. And for that purpose, if you would kindly stand to the podium, to my front left, speak into the microphone, identify yourself, and state your case. So, the first item on the agenda is 24-A092. It's to build a fence at 906 West Yarmouth Road. Joshua Trott is the owner, Bennett Fence and Arbor is the agent. And who do we have this evening?
Joshua Trott, 906 West Yarmouth Road.
Hey there.
So
tell us about your fence project.
So we're looking to build a cedar board fence with a natural cedar board topper, currently along the right side of the property, looking at it from the street. There's a pretty big hill in that area that kind of looks directly into our neighbor's backyard. Their deck looks directly into our kitchen window, and it's just something for a little bit more privacy. We do plan on extending the fence to do the entire perimeter of the home at some point. This is a deed-restricted affordable house. We're a low-income family. We can't just afford to do the whole thing all at once.
Gotcha.
Is that it? Okay. Questions or comments from the committee?
No, I think all of the questions I would have asked, he's answered them.
So this fence is on one side, correct?
Correct. This is on the south side of the property as of now.
Okay. And as it progresses towards Starbuck, it tapers down?
We have a taper at the beginning towards West Yarmouth Road from a 4 to a 6 foot.
Right.
We have it running along the home, and then it kind of bumps back in, and that's just because of topography. Even though we have 26 feet on the left side, there's a hill at about 22 feet, and we just couldn't build it out to the property line the whole way. So we thought we'd go along the house at one length and then do a bump out to the property line for the rear section.
Okay. Other questions or comments from the committee? Are there questions or comments from the public or abutters? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve 24-A092.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So Joshua, if you would be kind enough to come up and sign this document, which simply indicates if you want to make any changes, you'll let us know. Right there. And you're free to go. Good luck with it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair and the committee.
Thank you.
That's all right.
Call me the late Paula Morrison.
No, they weren't.
You look pretty good for someone who's dead.
It's the best I've ever looked.
I hate being late. Very summery.
Thank you.
I got a guest in my house as usual. Your hair's getting long. I know, I need a haircut. Me too. Hopefully tomorrow. Need to find a new haircut. Oh my God. I just can't get it. That's what I look like after I've been gardening. So, my phone's not working either.
The next item on the agenda is 24-A093. It's to replace and paint the garage doors, replace picket fence with a split rail fence, and replace the front storm door at 76 Strawberry Lane. Umberto Cordero and Heather McElroy are the owners, and I believe I recognize Heather. Good evening.
Good evening.
So tell us.
Heather McElroy, for the record. Yes, we're replacing the picket fence along Strawberry Lane as it exists today, except that we won't paint it. It will remain natural. The storm door, as indicated in your packet, new storm door. And then replacing the two garage doors, which are currently overhead doors, with a pair of barn doors on each, made of wood, beadboard, very just sort of plain on the outside, and we'd like to paint them the Kensington green, which is really a light blue, the same color as the front door presently is painted.
Nice.
Okay, is that it?
That's it. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions or comments from the committee?
So you're changing out the picket fence though, right, for split rail?
No, it will be a picket fence.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
It's picket fence now, right?
it's picket fence now.
Changing it
So
to a
the
split rail?
picture is what
No.
you're proposing.
No, did I put split rail in the application?
Best of split rail.
Place with a split rail.
Oh, my apologies.
It's picket to picket
It's picket to picket.
and to
Like
picket
for
back
like,
again.
okay.
I have to laugh because you are carrying forward so much heavy, precise work in your line of work. So, for you.
Well, Liz, to be frank, we had talked about doing split rail, and in working the application out with Lisa, I think perhaps we recycled the wrong application.
I see.
Okay.
It's fine.
All right, we got that cleared up. Any other questions or comments?
So I'm just, in the picture, it looks like your window sashes are white. They're black because you're putting a black storm door. So
The sashes are black.
they are now?
They
Okay.
are. They have always been.
Other questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from the public or abutters? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
I move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
And aye. So Heather, if you'll sign this, in case you want to change it and put a split rail fence up, you'll let us know.
Discussion among partners, right?
This is the one there is in rough shape.
Is that what you're replacing it? Goodness, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's overdue.
Good luck.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Good night.
Oh, sorry. Space not here. Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is 24-A094. It's to replace a casement window with a gliding window at 16 Warren Road, Unit 31A. Andrea Sasowski, I hope I have that close to right, is the owner, and Southern New England Windows is the agent. And who do we have tonight?
There we go. Stephen.
Looks like we have
Steven Seeger.
Stephen Seeger on
Yes.
Zoom.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So Steve Seeger with Renewal by Anderson, representing 18 Warren Road. So pretty simple. They have a double casement. They are changing it to a double glider. Really, the purpose for doing that, they've already got HOA approval. The purpose for doing that double casement is opening up right into their sitting area on their deck on the front. The grill pattern is exactly the same, 2 across, 4 down, I believe. So to the naked eye from the front, it looks exactly the same.
Is that it, Stephen?
Yes, that is it.
Okay. Questions or comments from the committee?
So when you say that they're switching it out because they want, what is the change giving the ability to sit out on the porch? What's changing?
So if you can look at the pictures of the deck, if those casement windows are swung open, that's where they sit. So if you get up or you walk, you're gonna walk right into these
Right.
windows.
It's a slide.
So instead of lifting the window, it'll slide, or instead of, in this case, swinging it
Instead
out.
of cranking it out.
Instead of cranking it out, yes, it will glide exactly.
Okay.
But the grill pattern looks exactly the same, and that's the good thing about going from double casement to a double glider. You virtually cannot tell the difference. I mean, I can tell it. That's what I do all day, but you can't tell the difference as long as the grill pattern is the same.
Right.
In this case, it is.
Okay.
So Stephen, it's 2 windows, right? There's double windows for the casement and double windows for the glider, so it's both of them?
It's one double casement, so
Okay.
in a sense it's 2 windows.
Right,
But
okay.
it's one double casement. for
Got
window,
it,
yes.
got it, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from the public or abutters? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion on this application.
Move to approve A-094.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
And aye. So,
Thank you, committee.
thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
This in here.
To Deb's Hill before.
The next item on the agenda is 24-A096. It's to build a retaining wall at 96...
9.5, did I miss that? 9.5.
9.5.
9.5. Correct. Build a retaining wall at 86 Starbuck Lane, Rosanglia, Rosangela, and Clydson Padilla are the owners? Got that sort of close to right? Okay. Would you like to present either or both?
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Clayton Padilla. I just bring my stepson to speak for my behalf.
Oh, okay.
So yes, I'm Anselmo Caldera, if that helps any of you. But yeah, we just want to build a, what was it, less than 4? Is that what it was?
Retaining wall.
Yeah.
Build a retaining wall in front, about 20 feet in length approximately, and it'll be less than 4 feet just about.
You're removing this, and are you using?
That was just a picture she
Sample.
asked me for the way it's going
Similar.
to be.
Similar in that nature,
Yeah.
yes, correct.
Okay.
It looks like you put new sod down there coming down to the street. Looks like there's new
Oh, yeah.
grass.
Did
You
you,
plant new sod or new grass there now?
That everything is going to be gone. We're planning to put a.
did
a real-
you finish your presentation, by the way?
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay,
I
fine.
thought he said that
Go
was
ahead.
No, in terms of retaining wall, that's pretty
Pretty
much
much
it.
it.
Is it going to be similar
Just
type,
all-
but is it going to be similar type of stones? Those are like the
Yes.
precast concrete?
With the
It's gonna
cap on top?
Yes.
Going to plan to do it like that? And are you going to have a little parking area in front like this does?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good.
Other questions or comments from the committee? Any questions or comments from abutters or other interested members of the public? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
I move to approve 24-A095.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So, as you've heard me say before, if one of you gentlemen would come up and sign this in case you want to make a change or changes to your plan, you'll let us know in advance, right there. Okay.
Yep.
You know when this house was built?
No.
68 in the thing.
Where is it?
On the front of the application, it says 1968.
Yeah, it says 68. Let's see if it says it in the, Yeah, it says it in the,
So the next item on the agenda is
property card.
24-D007. Rosangela and Clydeson Padilla are the owners to demolish a chimney at 86 Starbuck Lane.
Yes.
So,
So the whole thing, it is because the chimney, it has a built inside of our kitchen that is taking some space that we're trying to use to kind of like do some small pantry there, if it is possible.
right,
Then it's kind of like useless for us. We don't use the fireplace.
okay.
Because, I'm sorry.
He needs more space.
No, I was going to cue him to tell you that because he's got ducts now, ductwork, air handlers and splits, basically. So he's not using the chimney at all.
So there's no, is there a fireplace
Yeah,
in the kitchen?
the fireplace is for the
The other room.
The other room.
And
Yeah.
so you're going to get rid of all that?
Yeah, and then we're planning to put
What
kind of
about,
like
do you have
normal.
do you have a boiler or a furnace, or it's all air?
We have air.
So
We
you
have
don't- it doesn't duct out-
full duct work.
doesn't duct out through the
It takes
chimney.
space both in the living room and the kitchen side. It's just one big.
The new heating, air conditioning system doesn't use the chimney for anything?
No.
It does not.
Any other questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from abutters or other interested members of the public? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this.
I move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So, same thing as before. If you'll come up and sign this, in case you decide to change your mind about any of this, you'll let us know. Great. And you gentlemen are free to go.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee.
Thank you. Oops, sorry.
Thanks.
The next item on the agenda is 24-A096. It's to replace doors, windows, siding, trim, and roof at 100 Lookout Road. Colleen Keelan is the owner, and WD Price, Inc. is the agent, and I believe I recognize the agent this evening.
Good evening, OKH Committee.
Hi,
Wesley
Wesley.
Price. Nice to see everyone again.
Are you?
How are you?
Good.
Very good.
So I've been retained by the Keelans, Colleen and Jake, to remove and replace the roof, doors, windows, siding, and trim on the building. I'm not sure if folks have driven by the building itself, but it has fallen into disrepair over the course of time, and we're looking to restore it. The windows will be a Marvin window. The front door is intended to be a Simpson door. We do have specs of the Marvin door, Marvin window and front door. The only elevation that is highly visible is the front elevation. The rear elevation, where some work is taking place, is not visible from the street. You can see probably both gables at certain angles from the lookout. So I'd say there's probably 3 elevations that have visibility. The intent is to replace all the siding with an Arctic White Hardy clapboard on the entire building. The trim, we'd like to replace the trim with all AZEK composite. The roof, the clients are exploring and potentially like to use a composite cedar shake. As you folks probably know, cedar shingles have gotten quite expensive, and so there's some alternatives on the market. I did bring this. I don't know if any of you have actually ever
thank you for bringing it.
seen one before, but
What makes that?
there's 2 companies. This is called Brava. There's also
Brava?
BRAVA. Yeah, that's this brand. So I'm happy to pass it to you.
Thank you.
So when you replace this roof, are you changing the height of it, the width of it,
No, we're not
just
doing.
replacing the roof with
Yeah.
existing measurements?
Yep.
materials?
It's just the roof.
Yeah.
I'm wondering why we just have proposed roof elevation. What is,
I don't think we really needed that. Just look at the other side. I don't know why they included that now.
The windows are proposed to be 6/6 on the front. There's currently a diagonal pattern on the windows, which the clients did not want to retain. The kitchen window on the front we'd like to widen that to become a triple window, as shown in detail G, item D. This,
D?
yes. So it would be,
Yeah.
and that would be the only change from that and the door replacement would be the only changes on the front of the building relative to windows and doors.
Are these true divided lights?
Yes.
Why do we have this, Wesley?
That was intended to show the composite color options, but the color that the clients like is the one that I brought.
Okay.
So that's like a brown. Where oh, it's right here. Oh. Interesting. What is this actually made out of?
It is a PVC-based composite.
Does it have wood fibers in it?
I don't believe that brand does, no. It's not like an Acre siding, which has like rice hulls and some other types
What's the life of it?
It's warranted for 50 years, I believe, but I'm pretty sure it will go double that. Yeah.
But it hasn't been tested, so you don't know.
Well, it's been tested. Has it been around for 50 years? No.
Right.
Has it been tested? Certainly, yeah. I mean,
that doesn't matter to us. I was just curious.
yeah.
Interesting. So does it look? Have you done this before?
With a composite?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
I'm just curious. Have you seen it installed?
I have, yeah. Actually, looking at a project up in Vermont, 27 buildings, and they've put them on a number of buildings. They look pretty good.
Oh, yeah?
It's hard to tell from
the ground.
except that they're blue in Vermont, so that you wouldn't see a blue one here in the historic district. But yeah, but the grain pattern is quite realistic.
I have another off-topic question.
Yeah.
So when you install it, it looks like there's 2 penetration holes.
Yeah.
Now, if you were ever to put in solar, it's not going to be happy with that, is it?
I'm sure that there's a bracketing system that could accommodate solar panels. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It would have to be sealed, like you would if you were to penetrate.
They're all sealed.
Yeah, right. So if you're going to penetrate an asphalt roof, you're going to have a sealant on it. If you're going to penetrate rubber or vinyl, it'd be a sealant. So.
Okay, thanks. Just that was off topic, but
Yeah.
thank you.
Sure.
So you list a bunch of different windows as A, B, C, D. They all look like the same dimensions pretty much.
They're very
How are they
close.
different?
Yeah, they're very close. The door is A. First floor bedroom and bathroom are the same. Yes, A and B. One's tempered, one's not.
Oh, that's a tempered. Okay.
Yep. Garage is also
We're taking the window above the garage and changing the size of it. It's in the gable end of the garage, so that's a change as well. That's why those three were provided with the application.
Big project.
Yes, it is a big project, yeah.
Nice site.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful site, yeah. A little bit buggy, but I think we've across that bridge. The bugs have seemed to go beyond.
Always something to ruin paradise.
Well,
Heads.
it's just a bump in the road, right?
Any other questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from abutters or other interested members of the public? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve 24-A096.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And aye.
Thank you.
So I guess you know by now, you'll sign this document.
Go down and knock over the...
You decide, or the owners decide to make changes, you'll let us know. Great. Good luck with it. So the next item is a tabled item, 24-A020. It's to install 42 solar panels on the side and rear roofs at 16 Church Street. Peter Barnes is the owner. Venture Home Solar is the agent. We need to untable this item.
Move to untable.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor of untabling the item, kindly signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. Now we will hear 24-A020. Who do we have to present on behalf of the owner?
Tristan
There she is.
on the,
Okay,
she's from the solar company.
okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
We hear you fine. May I just interrupt you now that you've introduced yourself? We do have two letters with regard to this application that I will read into the record. The first one is from Mary Robinson. It was sent on Wednesday, July 17th, to our office administrator, Lisa Sherman, and it reads as follows. Dear Old Kings Highway Committee, after review of the updated proposal for 16 Church, we do not see a change or an improvement with the views of the panels from 6A or Church Street. The panels will be clearly visible 6 to 7 months of the year, and we are opposed. See attached photo of the 16 Church Street rooftop was taken directly from 6A in March. And it's signed Mary and Douglas Robinson, 4 Church Street, Yarmouthport. The second letter was also submitted on July 17th, and it reads as follows. Dear Old Kings Highway Committee, after reviewing the new plan, we find 3 of the proposed panel locations unacceptable. Please see the following diagram and photograph for details. As we all know, Church Street is part of a historical neighborhood and may soon be designated as a scenic road. The committee should prevent it from being defaced by eyesores. Thank you for the opportunity to voice our concerns. Michael and Abraham Grader, 17 Church Street. And there is specificity regarding which panels they are talking about, and I think with their permission, I will let them identify those at the appropriate time after we've heard the application and heard from the committee. So, having said all that, kindly present.
Okay, Tristan Suva of Venture Solar. Just to reiterate the scope of the work that we're proposing, it would be a 42 rooftop solar array. We did provide the updated and new plan set, which shows the arrays clearly labeled on page 2 of the plan set. We also included on pages 9 to 13 the panels superimposed onto the roof. And then we did include the specs for the panels on page 14, which show black on black panels, including the frame. That's the general scope of the work. We've tried our best to accommodate visibility both from Route 6A as well as the neighbors. This is currently the most recent and best plan set that we've been able to provide as of yet. So hopefully we can come to some sort of agreement on this one as opposed to tabling it, but we are still willing to work with both the neighbors and the committee to do what's best for the neighborhood.
Okay, is that it?
That is it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Questions or comments from the committee?
Well, I'll start by noting that they moved to modules, and thank you. Now we have clear plans. The last meeting,
Yes.
we were baffled. So the modules on the garage that do face Church Street, I have a problem with those, and I totally support solar, as everybody knows. They are, I think you could lose 5 modules, and the system would still be a go. I do not have a problem with the other modules, but the 5 that face Church Street on the garage are no good.
Okay, I can make a note of that.
Other questions or comments from the
Can I
committee?
ask, Chairman?
Yes.
Has a meeting with the abutters actually taken place? No. Okay.
Was that a no? No. Okay. All right. Other questions or comments from the committee?
I would agree. The only ones that I see as a true problem are the ones on the Church Street side of the garage. The 5 panels there.
Okay.
And I'm wondering why they can't go on the back of that roof, since you've only got
Probably could.
6?
Trees.
What?
There might be some trees. There's like some trees or anything. I don't know.
think that
Can you
would
move
be
those to the back?
Or maybe the more important question is, are they even needed? So,
Yeah.
look, I think they
Generally, the number of panels are based off the production. They might just have been placed on the front of the garage due to the shade report, which might have shown less production located in that back corner of the roof that does look open. But if they're not acceptable in that location, we can certainly try to maybe move them to the back in order to keep as many panels as possible, even if that means the barns do have to lose 1 or 2 panels.
Have we asked yet who owns the solar system? Is it going to be, is it Venture? Venture Home is going to own the solar system, and this is a lease, or are the barns going to own the solar system?
It looks like it is through a leasing company, so it would be through IGS.
Sorry, could I ask you to repeat that? I didn't understand that.
The company that would technically be in control of the panels, it's a financing party. It's called IGS. So once the payments on that are completed, then the Barnes would own the system itself.
So to further explain, there are two ways to get a solar installation in your home, and one is to have a company come in who owns the system, and they pay you a leasing fee every month. Or you go out and you get a loan and you own the system directly and pay it off over time, which is a far better way to end up with a solar system. But a lot of people are going with leases. When we have Steve come in from Sunrun, those are leases. Freedom Forever, those are leases. It sounds like this is a lease. So it becomes a financial deal between the company that's actually going to own the solar system, which is whatever she said, IGS, whatever, and the owner who wants to get relief on their electric bill. And when you reduce the number of solar panels, it often becomes no longer financially viable, which is probably where we're headed. We had somebody last week, for instance, who will not be going forward because we reduced the system to the point where it's no longer, doesn't make any more sense to the company anymore.
Are there other questions or comments from the committee?
Yes, I do. I would have to agree with Mr. Grader in his presentation that there are two assemblies of panels on two roof sections that are visible from 6A, and that's bothersome to me.
Can I speak to that?
Of course.
Of course.
So I went over to the library and parked and walked around, and when I walked, it was 20 footsteps that they were visible for. So I think we're getting back into a matter of, is it a glimpse of solar panels that is bothersome, or is it a visibility issue? I think you have to look for those solar panels, and I think that's...
This is the winter view. When there's no leaves in the trees, they're much more
nothing,
visible.
you know that that's not where the windows are, right?
Yes, it is on that roof.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Okay.
Those are it's the roof to the right of the one with the skylights.
Is that correct? I'm asking the presenter. Do you understand the discussion?
Yes, I understand. It's it seems that it would be those 6 panels in between the back roof of the house and the front roof of the house facing the pool.
So it's not the roof with the skylights. You can see the skylights on this representation.
Yeah. Then there's another roof extension further over to the right in that photograph.
And it's the roof further over. Mm-hmm.
And then the final building that the gable end is facing us on that, it's going to be the east-facing roof on that.
I kind of marked it.
So it'll be the east-facing roof on this?
No, it's in here.
No, but there's 2 sections. There's this section and this section. 2 sections that are visible from 6A.
This one this one is
this
here.
Side. Right. Yep.
And this one
is here. Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Could I ask, was there an attempted intrusion from the abutters then?
What does that mean?
Oh, sorry. Apologies.
What do you mean by in?
I thought you were wanting to make a further input to the committee.
They do. They will.
When they're invited.
We will get to that.
Not ready yet.
That's all right.
I do apologise.
Everyone,
The hurdles down before the Olympics, yeah.
everyone who wishes to speak will be given an opportunity to speak.
Excellent, Chairman. Thank you.
So, first of all, is everyone on the committee, have you all said your piece? And are you comfortable with an understanding of the panels and where they are?
I'm only against the barn roof there that shows this.
So, I see that we have abutters, and I'm ready for you to state your case.
Thank you. I'm Abraham Grader from 17 Church Street. I gave you the figure with 3 no's and 2 yeses. I beg to disagree with Liz. Those 3 roofs can be seen from 6A clearly in the wintertime or 7 months a year. And whether it's 20 feet or 60 feet, I don't think it matters. It can be seen from 6A, especially when you walk. It can be seen from the library entrance, especially the big roof. The big roof facing east can be seen from 6A. So I urge the committee to, I don't want to say do your job, but to not accept that roof for panels. The second roof, that's one of the 3. 2 of them they removed. The third one can be seen from 6A clearly and can be seen from 4, from the abutter 4. So the western facing roof on the coach house or whatever that's called is right in our face, and is also can be seen directly
Now, are
from
you
the
talking about the
streets.
garage now? I'm sorry, I kind of lost.
The garage, yeah. Is that
We
what you
agree
call
with
it?
you on that, so
Yeah.
let's
Yeah,
not
so
belabor.
from our point of view, there are 2 roofs that are left. Those are the east-facing roofs that I labeled in orange very clearly. The one on the garage and the one on the big house that's facing east. So I prepared very short sentences that I'd like to read to you. So anyone who moves into a historical neighborhood has to accept certain constraints. And Mr. Barnes hasn't given us one good reason why they should not be applied to him. It is the responsibility of this committee to protect the character of the neighborhood. In this instance, it means limiting solar panels to places where they can't be seen from the street or the neighboring properties. People come to Yarmouth Port to see beautiful houses, not solar panels. This is the 4th meeting about Mr. Barnes' request, and I think it's time that the committee should make a decision. I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you. Any questions you have to me?
Apparently not. Would either of you, yes?
I'll just be very brief because Abraham did a great job of diagrams and explaining all. So, yeah, it's just really down to we love.
By the way, I'm sorry, would you identify yourself?
I'm Doug Robinson, 4 Church Street, one of the abutters. So, yeah, we're asking our neighbors, which, by the way, hasn't communicated to us at all. They've never approached us other than running into them here during presentation. So they haven't reached out to us at all. But apart from that, it really is clear to me that having panels face where everybody can see them is just not a great idea. It's a terrible idea for a historical area. I have nothing against solar panels. I think they're great in certain areas. Potentially, the garage that faces east looks like that's not visible from us or anybody or even a 6A. And also the roof that's facing east at the front of the house towards church is also not viewed. So those are 2 surfaces. Potentially they could be expanded to accept maybe not all the panels that are this, by the way, this third-party industrial interest, which is suggesting in order to get the power we need to lease the program to make it financially feasible, we need to impose this amount of surface area on your roofs. So that's one thing. So it's not the owner's idea of what to do. It's kind of being imposed on them if they want to move forward. But that said, there are all alternatives, I would hope. Or maybe I think they have an acre of land. Maybe there's an area further in a forested area, and I don't know this, but maybe some ground installation would work. That I don't know. But of course, it can't be viewed by 6A or I would consider Church. Church is a very important street too. We don't want to have any panels, just like Liz offered on that side of the garage. So I hope the committee considers all this. I think we're all would love to see our area maintain its beautiful historical area. So thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. All right. So, a couple of things I would like to point out insofar as our mandate is concerned. First of all, we need to be clear about visibility. What the bulletin states is that the panel should be minimally visible. We're not talking about invisible. We're talking about minimally visible. Now, that is a subjective judgment, which we have to make. But it's worth bearing in mind that it's not required that the panels be invisible, but that they be minimally visible. We are also required, our charge is to consider the advantages of alternative energy, including solar, in making our decisions. So, so those are two things that I would urge everyone to bear in mind. So having said that, it seems to me, yes, it's regrettable that the meeting that had been suggested more than once between the homeowners and the abutters did not take place. I understand that there's a health issue with the gentleman who owns the house. But nevertheless, we've bounced this around quite a lot, and it would be desirable, I think, if we could come to a decision tonight about this. Not essential, but desirable. I think we are in agreement about excluding, and the representative from the solar company is in agreement about excluding the panels on the garage. So that will be, if we move, and I'm not suggesting that, but if we do move to approve this application, it would be with that amendment. And I don't know if that particular location is more offensive than the other two that you gentlemen have objections to, but it seems to be the consensus of this committee that that is the one glaring roof where there should not be, where solar panels are currently contemplated where they should not be. So we may have to come to a compromise about this. And it may be that not everyone is going to be entirely happy about the decision. So, with that said, I will entertain a motion on this application.
I move to approve 24-A020 with a contingent that the 5 panels on the garage that are west-facing be excluded from the installation.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor of approving the application as amended signify by saying aye.
Nay.
Aye.
Nay.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-2.
Do you want me to write it up? Nay.
You do have the right to appeal this decision.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You. Okay, so I attended an appeal on June 25th to the Regional Commission. It had to do with grills on windows at a house in Dennis, 17 Island Street. I was unfamiliar with the neighborhood. It's a nice neighborhood with 20 to 40-year-old homes on it. And the house currently does not have grills in the windows. And the Dennis Committee mandated that the application was for windows to be replaced. And the committee ruled that the street-facing windows must be replaced with grills. And the owners appealed, and they appealed on the basis that the existing windows did not have grills, and that there were other windows in the on Island Street that also did not have grills. And in a 3-2 decision vote, I voted with the majority. The Dennis Committee's decision was upheld on the grounds that of appropriateness and setting, that the houses in the immediate vicinity of 17 Island Street all had grills. It was not clear as to whether the existing windows might have had snap-in grills at one point, given the age of the house, when was constructed about the time when snap-in grills were popular. But at any rate, the decision was upheld, and it was interesting. I pointed out that there was another decision, an appeal at a house in Sandwich, a historic house, which was built around the turn of the 20th century, and a similar situation where the current windows did not have grills, but they had, through Macris photographs, historic evidence that there were originally grills on the front of the house. So there was a little bit of back and forth about whether these were really equivalent cases, because that was an antique house and there was a Macris photo of it. But ultimately it was decided that they were sufficiently analogous. It was, you could argue that there was precedent there. Other than that, we need to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
July 8th.
Thank you, July 8th. So, do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
Move to approve the minutes of July 8th, 2024.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. And now I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And
Aye,
aye.
aye.